Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 459. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Adam Vale is back, people.
What's up, sucker bitches? What's going on?
Yo,
This room smells dirty.
Yo.
We got Brett Murdock in the house.
The fuck are my horns at?
You know?
Oh, what was it? He did it.
Manny gave you a duck.
Thanks, Manny. Appreciate it.
There's horns.
I didn't do that.
And of course, we have a hopefully fully rested from daylight savings times, Brian Manjoma.
I see that the Quantum Error Twitter is mighty quiet right now.
Oh, oh no! Oh man!
You know, Brett. I really should have put these.
Yes.
There you go.
That would have been better.
The Throwdown crickets.
The one you got printed was pretty good. I would have also accepted a slide whistle.
Yeah, do we have one of those?
Yeah, we'd have to pay.
Manny,
for that.
give him the drums. Give him the drums. We have those.
Oh.
There we go. That's what we're limited to right now, you know. So anyway, we are back with another. Oh, by the way, no Chris action tonight. He had to be out, so no analytics for you guys. I know Tumeke wanted Microsoft financials, but Chris is the only one of us equipped to do that. You know.
Shit, I don't know if you have this on a note, but this is something I had to bring up because this is upsetting me. I got very upset, and you probably heard about this. You know, Call of Duty is out, right, for pre-orders and all that shit. But now, because Microsoft owns them, I turn on my Xbox, a big splash screen like it's an ad to buy Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
When you boot up the console, can you imagine? It takes up the screen. It's not like a little corner ad. It takes up the screen. Is this the future?
Yep,
is this it? Is this what we're gonna have every time they have?
This is the future you wanted, Adam. It's
I hate it because then also I don't know if you heard they got rid of third-party controller support starting next week. So that awesome controller that I reviewed, the Fight Stick, the Turtle one, won't work on there.
Uh-oh.
Well, bullshit.
It's actually certain controllers.
It's Brooks. It's the board. It's the board. It's the Brook board. And they say they don't have the license, and that's what's in that Fight Stick. It's the Brook board. And Brooks already said, hey, listen, we're going to try to figure out a workaround and get this up and running. But that sucks for everybody that has mainly Fight Sticks. A lot of those Fight Sticks are all on that board. I know they did it for some people cheating or something like that, like with turbo buttons and shit for other, regular games for Call of Duty and shooting and stuff. But man, for the fighting community, this sucks. It really sucks. All right, that's it.
To be honest, it should really be relegated to if you're playing online. Who gives a shit if you're cheating on your own?
Yeah. They should really streamline. So now people are putting together a petition. So if you're upset about it, you send them a fucking message on X or whatever thread. Send them some fucked up shit. Tell them, hey, this is bullshit. You want to play your Street Fighter 6? The fucking console finally got a fighting game, and then now you can't use your Fight Sticks. That's bullshit. It's not like they make their own. They're like, oh, it's got to be licensed. It's like, which one's licensed?
Yeah. Logic Win says, can't these third parties just get Microsoft approved?
That's the other thing. Yeah, and then we don't know the money and how much that's going to cost. And I'm sure that's what it'll come down to, that they have to pay X amount of money and then poof, it just unlocks it, that type of thing. So we'll see. But right now, Brooks, which is the biggest one because of the boards, they make a lot of fight boards, and that's what a lot of these Fight Sticks are built on. It's blocked. It's going to be blocked as of next week.
Yeah. Logic Win says, wasn't the intention of this so that cheaters don't have an advantage by using unlicensed controllers?
Correct. It was for the regular controllers, like for the shooters and stuff like that, but not for the Fight Sticks.
Yeah,
but it's impacting the Fight Sticks. Like that's the majority of what people give the shit about. But it's also a small majority of people that actually use them.
So, that's crazy.
Sucks.
Domeka says, join the upset Xbox employees who are no longer getting Game Pass for free. Segway Kings, man.
That's
crazy. Let's get right into that story. You know,
I didn't even know they did get it for free.
Well, of course they did. They were Xbox employees.
Yeah. No. Don't say of course, because there's a lot of people that work at certain services that don't get.
Well,
all
these
they make a
motherfuckers,
discount.
we know a lot of people that got them,
Yeah, a lot of people used to get them, like third parties, any other people that they're publishing, they all got, a little something, got those from Microsoft. But,
everybody I know everybody I know that's associated with Microsoft got Xbox Game Pass for free. So that's not a secret, But people are upset now. It's like, oh, you have to pay $15. They don't even get an employee discount or nothing.
See, now that's the shit I'm talking about. At least give them a discount. It's like working at like a store, clothing store, something like you don't get free shit, but you'll get a good discount. Yeah, we'll hook you up.
I mean, like crazy. some people, like people at a lot of other companies, they usually have, they have a company store. It's like obviously they're not going to always be giving you the games, but they at least have a store. Well, at least if they're publishing anything, they take a decent chunk off of it. Back when back when Chris used to work at Nintendo, that's what he used to get stuff for his company with his company discount.
Yeah, well, they can't even get this shit on discount. That's nuts, man.
Shit, man, what's the world coming to?
Yeah, that's it, man.
They're tightening the belt. Tightening the belt, man. Soon they're gonna be getting rid of soda machines and then the snack machines.
Whoa. Well, I remember when they had a video. It might be pulled down now. People could look it up. It was a tour of Microsoft's campus. This was many years ago, and it was like a video that got leaked. That was like "Welcome to the team" type of thing. And they had like a daycare on site and all this stuff. But one of the cool features was like, damn, I wish I had that. You could on through there. It was Skype at the time, but now it's Teams. You can send a message to Starbucks that's in their cafeteria, and for free, they will bring you Starbucks coffee of your choice to your cubicle.
Wait, damn. What's this about Phil Spencer making pancakes for Xbox employees?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Is that? I don't think he's going to be doing that forever.
Yeah, no, it's not. Nobody's saying that. Logic Win says also Tony Game Pass Ultimate is $16.99. What was it before?
I don't know. No, it was $14.99. Ultimate was $14.
As the internet hates me for, I unsubscribed from Game Pass, so I don't know what it costs.
No, it went up to $14. Ultimate went up $14.99 when they added EA. When EA jumped into it, and that's what they were like, oh look, but you got an EA in here.
I just still find it funny that the people who gave me the most shit from unsubscribing from Game Pass was the PlayStation guys. They're
like, yo, man, why you giving up on your boys?
Yeah.
And they're still not clear with their messaging with that EA shit. Because, in fact, just the other day, I had a buddy of mine was like, yo, I don't want to pay for the new FIFA, but I got the EA stuff with the Xbox, so I could play it there, right? I was like, no, you get all the old stuff. It doesn't say that. I'm like, you're right. It doesn't. It should let you know, because only the PC version, which is like $20 a month, was it EA Play Origin, some bullshit. It's got a different title. That one gives you day one releases, but the one that's on console, the PlayStation, the Xbox one, that gives you just the back catalog, the legacy stuff. The new games don't jump on there until like toward the end of their seasons, like the Madden one and the FIFA, well, not FC. So that. Yeah, exactly. He's like, then why am I paying extra for the old stuff? Why do I want to play the old stuff? I said, why you ask all these questions? I don't know. This is just how it works.
Yo, man,
write them an email. Games. Yeah, play some old games. Did you play Fight Night? Probably not. It's on there. Play that shit.
So yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean, again, it just seems like a lot of these video game companies are all tightening the belt, multi-million-dollar industry, and all of a sudden we're firing people.
Yeah, it's just funny when it comes to what you just said with the services and stuff, because it's just a card. It's free. It's not. I mean, come on now. It's just in most cases, you probably don't even have to get the card. They can just generate the codes. I'm like, all right, here's X amount of codes, and then
Adam, you can it's not free, by the way. Those codes cost stuff. Wait,
if it's Microsoft, that's for Game Pass.
Yeah, no, every code, even like review codes, they still cost the company something.
No. That still costs because they're coming from the store still. They're from whatever outlet. Yeah. But I would think Game Pass.
Yeah, maybe they don't. You're right, because it's just a code. It's not like they got to pay for the paper, Well,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And the thing about it is, it's like, okay, if you're an employee, theoretically you should be able to just have it as long as as part of your just like getting medical, right? You get get this thing.
It's just well as part of the service.
Game Pass.
Well, do they get Office 365? Do they get that free?
Yeah, I mean, like if you could use it at the job, right? I don't know.
So, for example, like for PC games, right? And then this is how come we have all these outlets that CD keys and stuff that sell Steam codes, key codes. People are like, oh, how'd they get them? Well, the publishers of games get X amount. Most of the time, from what I heard, it was like 5,000. They get 5,000 codes from Steam and says, hey, do what you want, give it out promotions, whatever, try to advertise, promote your game. Well, they will sell some of these codes to those type of outlets, CD Keys and Green Man Gaming and stuff like that. And once the codes are all depleted, then they can request more. And of course, Valve can tell which ones get redeemed because they can track it. They can see. And that's how it works. And now they're even cracking down and said that they're not going to be giving that large amount to these publishers anymore. It's going to be lesser because they want to cut down on those third-party sites selling codes, key codes.
Yeah.
Essentially cutting them out of
cutting out that market. That's it. And it's like soon it'll get to the point within a year or two that the only way you can get Steam game code is just like how it is with PlayStation and stuff, just gotta go through them. Remember when PlayStation had their games on Amazon?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember when you get digital codes and they were part of discount?
We could actually buy PlayStation games for the fans. We can't even do that on Amazon.
Oh yeah. You can give people codes. You're like, here, there you go, Merry Christmas. You can't even do that shit.
Logic Win says apparently Phil wasn't aware that Xbox employees lost their Game Pass subs, and he's going to look into it.
Yeah, that sounds shady. That sounds shady.
Yeah, so somebody's not telling him.
Yeah. Blitz says maybe Sarah made her first big move. I don't think she's in charge yet.
No. Or maybe it was certain departments.
Maybe
it could have been that.
But we know what it is. It's just penny pinching,
Yeah, either that or contractors. There's always a little more to it. It's like, oh, who's that? Well, there's the contractors. They're just contract. They don't get it.
Yeah,
because they're technically employees.
Because I think you're right. Maybe maybe it doesn't cost Microsoft anything, but if people are forced to buy the Game Pass subs, it will generate some revenue.
Yeah, but that's man. That would suck.
But is it really generating any additional?
It's
revenue?
not. It's like what less than 1%.
It's literally money that they're giving it back.
Like, yo, man, take that money from the right pocket, put it in the left.
Exactly.
Sure, I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they deduct it from their pay. It was like, oh, you're getting this deduction. What? Wait, what's the extra tax? No, it's your Game Pass. Your Game Pass sub just had to renew.
Get it like medical, right? It takes
medical.
Out of your check every month.
Right, we got this.
What is this money about?
This is going to your 401k. This is your Game Pass sub. Oh, we just increased the price.
We don't need this shit.
It's retroactive, so we're going to be taking some money from last month also.
We just raised the price, so you're gonna have to pay even more now. For the last time.
Blitz says Satya didn't get his bonus, so made the call. Is that what it was? I did not get my bonus. Nobody gets Game Pass. I don't know. But yeah, man. But man, you mentioned it before, so let's get into it, man. Speaking about penny pinching, cutting costs. Bungie has laid off 8% of its workforce. Apparently because Destiny 2 has been shit in the bed. Nobody cares anymore.
Man, Microsoft is really holding them back.
Did anybody say that by any chance, Brett? Like me, that was years ago with Halo, but I don't know about Destiny.
No. People have said shit been talking shit I don't want to say nonstop, but it's still kind of floating around better than when they were with Microsoft, really, because they've done nothing but nosedive since they detached. So,
well, that's not true. Destiny blew up initially,
Brett, wasn't the whole reason that they wanted out because they were tired of doing Halo, right? And that they were just stuck to that. But Destiny is more Halo. That's it.
No, I know. They disengaged, made another Halo. It was super successful, and they kind of imprisoned themselves in that. And now they're just on a sinking ship that is the entire company made of Destiny.
Yeah, pretty much. Go ahead.
It's also to say that I'm sure a lot of the people that actually created Halo aren't even at, probably at that studio anymore. So
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people stayed at 343. That was the whole thing when they split, and everybody was like, all right, either because you had to move. That was the big deal. They had to leave Seattle or whatever area.
So this is interesting. Because I'm reading this from The Verge. Bungie is laying off around 100 staffers as well as delaying 2 of its forthcoming titles, Marathon and Destiny 2's forthcoming expansion, The Final Shape. The latter is now expected to launch in June 2024, while the former, Marathon, won't be expected until 2025.
I don't know.
Well, to be honest, because nobody gives a shit about that version of Marathon. People want OG Marathon, where they were literally like one of those games that was just like about narrative and all that other stuff like that.
Now we can't have that anymore. We can't have that anymore in the games industry. Everything has to be online, persistent open world, microtransactions. It has to be all that shit now.
And so as soon as anybody, like everybody heard Marathon, yes, it's back. At least people will remember. And then, oh, it's a looter shooter.
Wah, 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 wah. Crazy, man. But I want to talk about this story. And apparently, Insomniac had some layoffs, but these kind of layoffs are what we typically see. Where basically, like at the end of a game development, a bunch of people just get laid off because in Mania, as you well know, a lot of people get brought into a game to finish it up, and then they just get let go. At the end of it, we've seen this all the time.
You get what happens is you have obviously your main staff, and then you have your additional staff, which is like an in-house freelancer, right?
Yeah.
So you keep them around for X amount of months, and they're pretty much doing a bunch of stuff like possibly making background assets or doing additional programming. But once all that is said and done, they let everybody go. And officially, at least in a lot of states, you can't have in-house freelancers in your in-house for too long. So that's how the animation industry works, where essentially they'll hire a bunch of people. At least a lot of non-guild ones. So like they'll hire a bunch of people, have you in for a certain amount of time, and then they'll let you all go, and then they'll begin the cycle again.
Yeah,
that's all. That's a lot of it. Because if you're in there for a certain amount of time, that means that they have to hire you as a full-time employee, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen those type of layoffs, throughout, all the time. But this year specifically, we've seen a lot of layoffs in general when it comes to gaming. And, this is something we talked about off air. It's like basically after, during the pandemic, gaming blew up. It made a lot of money. And these people just assumed, hey, we're going to keep riding this train. It's like, no, it had to come back down eventually, So all those extra people you hired, this was going to happen.
Nothing like a captive audience, right? All these companies are all feeling it. Like Netflix right now and freaking Amazon, they're all saying they want to put commercials on their shit right now because they can't even match up to the amount of money that they were making to the pandemic. So now it's like, okay, we're not making that. We need to make some more money. So let's put a bunch of commercials on there. And I feel like every single one of them that does that, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're trying to make the same amount of money they were during the pandemic. It's like, you guys realize that was like a once in a lifetime thing. You have to kind of go back to the money you were making beforehand, but that's not how these things work. They need to make more and more.
None of them can sustain themselves. And every single one of them, all the digital platforms are all raising the amount of money. Yep. To be honest, I feel like they should be lowering the amount of money to get to essentially.
Yeah, you're pulling more people.
You're pulling more people because nobody's questioning how much they're paying. Oh, it's $10 or even less than that.
Well, they put themselves in the situation when they started offering all these services for $4.99. Remember with Disney and all that? It was so cheap. Some people are like, oh, this is great. And then next you look, it's like $15. Like no one wants to pay that because they're used to paying only $4 or $5. It's the same thing with mobile games, right? They were always like 99 cents, $1 or $2. And as soon as one came around, they charged $5, $10. They're like, for what? These games should only be 99 cents. That's what I've been paying forever.
Yep.
So pretty crappy right there. I want to read some of it because, by the way, just full disclosure, I am reading these stories or learning about these stories literally for the first time tonight, except for the Destiny one, because I've just been like neck deep in Apple MacBook coverage. So I didn't know anything was going on in gaming. So I'm catching up here too. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons wrote on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. It's fucking stupid. According to Jason Schreier, the layoffs come several weeks after a meeting in which executives said that Bungie's revenue was 45% lower than projected, and in which Parsons blamed Lightfall, Destiny 2's most recent and poorly received expansion, for a drop in player retention, leading to the shortfall. 45% drop, goddamn! That is insane. Nobody's playing this fucking game now. You know?
Wait, which game is that?
Destiny.
Oh, Destiny fell off that far?
Yeah, the revenue dropped 45% lower than expected.
But then again, people, what are they selling? They sell a lot of cosmetics, a lot of those shaders and stuff. There's only so much of this shit you can use.
It's the latest expansion. It's just...
yeah.
And then, now this next one, people are like, oh, we don't know. So yeah, that's fucking crazy. But no, that's been kind of the narrative of this year. Like, just fucking layoffs, not just in gaming, everywhere. It's been brutal, man. But again, people thought we were gonna keep riding this train. That happened during the pandemic. It's like, you fucking dumbasses, you couldn't sustain that.
No.
So
it's all coming to a head. Like what was it? At least as far as the financials go, with the because we have the big strike that's going on with the Screen Actors Guild. The beginnings of that was with Scarlett Johansson. Remember, they friggin' put her movie onto the streaming platform, and she didn't have that deal.
Yeah,
and that broke all that stuff open, because he realized, oh, if you're making more streaming stuff, that means that you're not making that same amount of money if you have those special theater deals.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, now that they made all these deals, and it looks like at least the writers and the actors are trying to get their money, but who's going to pay that? We are. We're going to pay it. These streaming services are not going to take a hit.
I'm not paying shit, baby.
They're going to be like, well, all right, we're just going to jack up the price and be like, hey, this is to pay for that. And
for what?
Bunch of crap. We put commercials on there.
Bunch of crap content. That's a whole other story.
It's like I'm thinking to myself, man, all of these platforms are sounding more and more like cable. Maybe it's really time to reconnect the cord again, because it's no difference.
It's going to get to that point. We're going to do full circle, just like when people wear bell bottoms. It's the 70s all over again.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to make a mention on that last point there. Like, I got to say, I went to watch, I want to say Rick and Morty, and I Googled what it's on. It's like, oh, what is Rick and Morty on? It's on Hulu, but it's only on Hulu Live Plus, the $45 whatever fucking subscription that they have. So it's like, okay, so it's it bothers me that they're taking popular content and relegating it behind a paywall for their highest tier service,
assholes.
Which is pretty much exactly like cable. So yeah, we are back here again with all the same fucking shenanigans.
It's a perfect loop.
And the other thing is that all of the stuff that for network TV is all delayed, so you don't get to watch them as soon as when the people on the streaming service see it. So you see it maybe a few weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even be okay with a week later or 2 weeks, a few weeks later, whatever. Just the whole no, you have the choice to either pay $45 for it or go over to Amazon and fucking buy it there. Well, I guess I'm not fucking watching Rick and Morty then.
Damn. This is off topic, but Manny, since you brought up Scarlett Johansson, did you hear that basically some AI voice generating app like to use her voice, no permission, didn't ask her. Yep. And I'm like, how did you even think you would get away with that? Literally going, buy this app, you could sound like Scarlett Johansson. What? Yeah. What the fuck?
Yep. And to be honest, I said this on Twitter too. As much as artists are actually having issues with the controlling their work, and not getting stolen by AI, man, actors and all that stuff, they all own their own own their likeness rights. And in order for you to even be able to use their face or their voice or any part of their performance, you have to pay them. And if you don't, they have perfectly grounds to essentially sue any one of these people that are doing that. And if Scarlett is essentially saying, no, this is fucked up, because they've been doing this shit for years, ever since that stupid, deep fake garbage was happening, all that stuff, where they would, change the, a guy do an impression of Tom Cruise and his face was deep faked on top of it. Now that's her doing this literally opens the door for every single actor to start throwing out their, essentially start suing people because they're doing this crazy shit and using their likeness in a way that they're not supposed to be.
So this is not, it wasn't just her voice too. This thing also generated her face and behind the scenes clips of Black Widow where she's saying, look, I'm Scarlett Johansson. You can generate me. It's like, whoa. Again, I just don't understand how the company thought they could get away with that shit. It's fucking insane, but that's the world we live in.
That's what they're fighting for too. That right there is literally the thing that they're trying to get control of with the movie studios, because the movie studios say they don't want to give up any of those rights like that. It's like no. That's a part of it. You can't.
And they don't want to give royalties if you pass to your family members. They just want to just use you. Oh, well, if you're in the movie, then that's it. We'll put you in sequels even if you're dead, and we won't pay your family.
Yeah. Nope. They removed the ad, by the way. No coincidence there.
Of course they did.
Idiots, man.
She's going to sue those motherfuckers out of existence. They're going to be gone. He ain't going to hear about these people.
It's over. All right, little side thing there. Let's move on. Sony Interactive Entertainment acquires iSize. Please fill me in on this.
Okay, number one, they just got through firing a bunch of people from Bungie and firing a bunch of people from Insomniac, and they just bought another company. Anyway,
that's where they need the money. They need money to buy this shit. They're like,
to understand what this is, right? I think this is so you remember how we're talking about how they're their streaming services and stuff like that. This is a step toward their streaming services. So what this company does, iSize, is essentially they're able to essentially with the low, they have like AI that essentially allows you to push like higher resolution video over current existing stuff. So this is actually extremely good for something like a PlayStation Now, where they, how right now they're kind of pushing through like maybe a 1080p.
Yeah.
Where they could possibly, with this technology, do it at 4K. This also includes.
Oh, that sounds cool. Hey, good use of AI. There you go.
Yeah, no, this is it uses deep learning, essentially deep learning to essentially to fully construct HD images from it. So in other words, you could have a lower, you
should have used that on the fucking Metal Gear collection. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, so this thing's actually kind of good for Sony, where essentially with a lower bit rate, with a lower stuff that can be a little bit lower, the latency is a little bit lower too. So because you're not pushing over this really heavy duty like video feed, probably you'll fix the latency, and then it'll again, sizes of files being pushed through can look be smaller but look better on your screen. So it's an interesting thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know about iSize or any of that stuff, but at least that sounds benevolent.
I mean, to be honest, I only did research for these guys today. I'm like, as soon as I read, I'm like, oh, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Again, they're looking to beef up their stream. It even says it in this announcement. They're really looking to, beef up their streaming service ability, and essentially I think it is so that they can lower the latency, but heighten the quality of the video feed that you're going to be getting, when you're playing your online games. So,
yeah.
Well, speaking of online games, Carlos. Playing your Spider-Man.
You got that platinum.
Got your platinum on the go.
Yeah, man. Got the platinum, and I think more than half of the game I played it on remote play on my iPad, and it worked surprisingly well.
Which iPad?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Pro?
No, just I think it's an iPad Air.
Okay.
One of the.
Got you. M1.
Yeah, so
M1 though.
No, it was right. It was the one right before it.
Okay, that's a good one. A14, I think.
My son beat that last week. He loved it.
Yeah,
it's a really good game. Got some complaints, but overall, I feel like it's done really well.
Did he turn into a brick? Because he was turning into a brick all the time, swinging around as a brick. Every time he changed outfits, I just saw a little brick in the air. He's like, "Yeah, it's stuck."
Yeah, I was away, while that whole controversy was going on, and I'm gonna channel the power of Brett here with Fallout 76, right? But I didn't experience any of those fucking problems at all. Like, I've seen the videos. I'm not discounting that stuff, right? But when I was playing I was talking to Rich, Paris, and Danny, right? And none of us experienced any of this stuff. So I think that day one patches would fuck things up because I didn't play the day.
Exactly.
So I think that's what it is.
That's exactly Rich thinks, that the day one, whatever that day one patch did, it screwed it up. It's funny because those issues that you were hearing about now, those were all issues on the original Spider-Man. Spider-Man PS4 had that happen.
Really?
Where, like, I think we even have episodes where we talked about it. Where
I think I do remember the cube Spider-Man, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it was like the cube, like it was a cube, or it would it'd be like a random item in the environment. So it'd be like a street pole, like swinging through the city.
I remember. I don't think I experienced that, but I do remember that.
And out of all of us, Chris has been having the most issues with that game.
Yeah.
So that was my theory. I'm like, I think that day one patches will fuck things up because all the other guys I talked to that were reviewing the game before the patch, no issues at all. So yeah, I think that's what it is. But so now they need to patch the patch. I have to have it already. But I was like, I got the platinum even before that shit, so I'm good. But I find that interesting. All right, what are we talking about right now? More Silent Hill.
Yes.
So apparently they're working on, what is this, Manny? Remakes, plural?
So Silent Hill, there has been, there's Silent Hills. This first one is Silent is working, There, according to the recent thing, is that there's going to be more remakes of Silent Hill games, not only just the Silent Hill 2 remake. So, yeah, that's coming. That supposedly showed up in the financials for Konami pretty damn recently. And yeah, I mean the thing that's just more. I think the two Silent Hill games that are coming out. Like they're saying, there's at least what it's saying is like the new Silent Hill 2 is coming out next year, and then there was like, in other words, Silent Hill Red or whatever it's called. There was this big Silent Hill thing that they did last year where they announced a new movie. They announced like 2 games plus some mysterious thing what we'll talking about soon. So there you go.
I like what Blitz just said. Silent Hills, just not the one you want, not the Kojima one.
Nah, man, it's just there's a lot. Go into the next one.
Let's talk about this bullshit. What the hell is Silent Hill Ascension?
So Silent Hill Ascension was one of the things that was announced on that Silent Hill feature that they did like last year, right? So there was, Silent Hill 2 remake, one that was actually made by a Japanese studio, and then there was 2 mysterious ones. This one was one of the mysterious ones. This one is like a choose your own adventure type of thing. But like everybody, you get an app or you're on the website and you sort of choose what's going to happen in the story. So you watch this, and each week or whatever, it started on the 30th or the 31st. So each week you there's a new episode and it reflects all the things. The problem with this shit is that there's a insane amount of like microtransactions on top of it. So what you can do in the game game with a big giant quotes on it. What you can do in this thing is you can make your own limited avatar, right? They have a bunch of costumes and all kinds of other things that you can do to make your character, right? And you can pay real money to essentially put more tchotchkes and stickers and all kinds of dumb things on the character. And the thing is that also with these, you actually have to pay for those. And then also part of the microtransactions is that you can essentially pay more money to bump up your importance within the game, within voting. So obviously, supposedly everybody's equal, you vote, but you can pay more money and your vote would count more. And they're also offering like a prize, like if certain things happen, if you're paid a certain amount of money, it looks like you can get yourself as a character. It's stupid. Get yourself as a character in the movie, in the stupid movie. And this is totally against anything that's Silent Hill. It's just like garbage. And it makes me wonder, like, how the fuck did these guys sell this to them? And how come they didn't see the bullshit? Just see through the bullshit of this garbage.
Yeah. Well, my
so
thing
what
is,
did they just say, like, hey, we get them to watch a movie, and then they could pay some money.
Because they were just counting the money they would make or thought they would make. But I don't know. To me, this seems very much in line with Silent Hill because this is very frightening.
Yeah, it's a reanimated corpse of just garbage.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know.
Like again, like I don't know what it is with like again, like Konami keeps doing this. They keep like tripping over their own feet. Like you put out a Metal Gear collection where it's like the most like lackluster way of putting out a collection. You can't run any of the games in 1080. All the games are running in 720. The 720 is upscaled for those ones that are supposed to be HD.
Christ.
The Metal Gear Solid 1 is not a nearest neighbor upscale, so it's all blurry and garbage. You can't fix any of the texture warping. They don't even have friggin' like, what is it? Scan lines, like to give it that like sort of old television look to sort of help it.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. It's just bare bones across the board. The only thing that's anything good about it is that all the additional content they put in there, where like you can read all the scripts, they have a bunch of art books and all kinds of other things inside of those, in each of those things. But that's about it.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a ripoff.
It's not like it's like what like again like it's. And the one end, it's cool to have all those games, but it's like possibly the worst versions of those games you could possibly have gotten. Most people are just going to Duck Station and playing Metal Gear Solid 1, or doing some emulation to play any of the other games on there. You can get it right now. The PC one, obviously the PC one they're all the same across the board, right? So you can't right now. A bunch of modders already pretty much made a 4K version of it, but there's obviously a bunch of issues with it because some of the UI doesn't work correctly. But couldn't they give that a little bit longer? And the funny thing is that we talked about this the last time during Delta. It was like, it's like break glass if in case of emergency, because this thing popped out. Every single person said this thing is garbage, and then all of a sudden, the Microsoft thing that happened, all of a sudden, we got exclusive new footage of Metal Gear Delta. I feel like they just said like, all right, this shit's going bad. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, right. Probably that's exactly what happened.
And it totally dominated the airwaves. Like like people were barely. You didn't hear all the people being angry about the master collection. You heard was just Delta talk.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It should have came out at a discount. I think that would have softened the blow. It's like, hey, we didn't promise anything. Yeah, it's $60. That's a lot. That's a lot for a bunch of old ass ports. $40, and just put a nice big disclaimer. This is just ports.
I feel like the old collection was around 60, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only old collection I bought was from my Vita. When that collection, the HD collection, came out to Vita.
Yeah, and that was like 2. It didn't come with Peace Walker.
Yeah.
The Microsoft one was missing.
No, this is the first time the Microsoft is getting the first one.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. So this was a big deal, but it looks like crap, so whatever.
Yep, and the Switch one runs like utter garbage. And to be honest, like, that game, the Switch should be able to run.
Yeah. The Switch should be able. The Switch should be 60 frames.
Yeah, the Switch should be able to run all those games. So, like, the Switch is at least a bit more powerful than a PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be able
and
to
these
run.
are PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah, even the Vita was able to run these games as is.
Yeah.
So.
It's just a lazy port. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just lazy.
Just a lazy,
cheap cash grab. Just like that bullshit Grand Theft Auto one that you put out like last year.
That still has problems. That's still every once in a while I'll see it always on sale, dirt cheap. I'm like, did they ever fix this? A little bit, but it still has issues.
Rockstar's not going to do that. They just handed it to that stupid ass Grove Street company.
Grove Street.
Yeah, which they did that other port that was also garbage.
Well, this was the mobile port. This was the port they did for.
That's what
the problem. This was their mobile port that they pushed, which is horrible.
It was their garbage mobile port, and then again, people who don't know a damn thing about like we're gonna remodel a bunch of stuff, and they just did a utterly garbage job of doing it. Just nothing.
It's fucking crazy.
Whatever.
All right.
Just let it die. Let's let it die for a little bit and see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, completely random. Just found this on my desk. But here's the thing about it, Manny. Air train. Yeah, JFK. Yeah, there you go. By the way, I managed to beat jet lag, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, you stayed up.
Yep, stayed up.
Right?
I stayed up, because on the plane ride back, I couldn't go to sleep. So I was up the entire 12 hours. And then when I got back home around 4, I'm like, I'm not going to go to sleep now, So I stayed up till like 10:30, slept for 10 hours straight. And that was it. Reset, So got lucky there. But all this fucking work this week, man, it burned all the fucking memories of Hawaii away. like literally from paradise into just work,
Mm-hmm.
But you could thank a certain fruit company for that.
Did you see any talks or anything about the fires or any of that stuff, or they was just like, nope, we're not?
They had things where like you could volunteer to help and stuff. And what I did, not a lot, but they had a lot of shops there that they had a lot of shops in the resort that were affected by the fire. So I made sure to buy stuff from them. Little things, but it's something.
Every little bit counts.
Mm-hmm. So I helped them out. Yeah, Hawaii's fucking awesome, by the way. Just gotta say
it is.
Like I'm like, yo, they got mountains and shit. They got oceans.
I had this one.
What's that? Yeah.
This one moment where I was on the beach and I caught a panic attack. It was because I just realized when I looked out that we're just surrounded by water. We're on a little island and we're miles and miles away from the land. What if a big tidal wave came and it just washed us all away? And I started freaking out a little bit. Just thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know if I could ever stay here. I would keep thinking, is a tidal wave going to come and drown us all?
Is a volcano going to explode?
Is a volcano going to erupt? We went to go visit it. And,
that's why those Samoans are all tough over there, man, because they got like everything's trying to kill them. The friggin' oceans trying to kill them. The volcanoes earthquakes are trying to kill them.
Bro, Samoans are some of my favorite people on the face of the fucking planet. That's one of the reasons I love Hawaii. And
the most relaxed fucking people on the planet, despite they living on Hell Island.
Dude, the one thing like that I'm talking about, like when you get out there and like you kind of stare out at the ocean, you just realize like how far away you are from everything.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was freaking out. I'm like, shit, we're so far.
Yeah, this isn't even like, I'm on an island here, and then there's some islands over there, and then there's some islands over there, and like 50 miles over there, there's some, like, no, you're like, bro, I'm like 2,000 miles in any direction, there's fucking nothing.
There's nothing but water.
It's kind of a weird feel. Like, you can tell, you're like, wow, this is like it feels like if, like, okay, pretend the earth were flat for a second. Pretend. And, like, imagine you sailed all the way to the edge, like, like way past the safety line right before things like start falling off, like, and there was a tiny little island there. That would be Hawaii. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
So,
what's up,
Brett? When you lived out there, you were in Honolulu?
No, Maui.
No, right? I was in the town that caught fire. My like all of it. My old stomping grounds are fucking gone, man.
So, all right, so here's a question I have. Going to Honolulu, do you have to take a plane, or is there a ferry or something?
No, you can fly right into Maui if you want.
But, I mean, you can't take a boat. Like, is it expensive? It's not like going to Staten Island. You know what I mean? Like, is it a trip if you want to go to Honolulu, or can you do that and just like, oh, I'm going to Honolulu for an hour or two and come back?
Yeah, you can do it. Like it's you can take a boat over there.
Oh, you can. All right.
That's boats every day.
By the way, I enjoyed that, like seeing the boats and shit just in the water. And it also made me appreciate how far the human eye can see. I'm looking at this fucking other island. The shit's got to be fucking miles away, and I'm like, wow, I could see it. But then, then kind of reality set in. It's like, Tony, you could also see the sun, and that shit's 93 million miles away. So human perception is pretty good, But I didn't get, by the way, I don't even know what the fuck a panic attack feels like. But here's where my mind went. I was like, yo, Pacific, right? Imagine if Godzilla showed up. That's where my mind went, and I'm like, that would be fucking awesome. Like, I'm just staring at the fucking at the ocean, and just fucking monster jumps up. That would be dope. I'm not coming at me.
Trying to just be like, hell of a way to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Bray, you got to embrace it, man. And think about it. If hell exists, you got a hell of a story to tell us, motherfuckers. How'd you die, man? I got hit by a car. I fell off a roof. I got killed by Godzilla.
Well, that's why I'm saying,
like,
if I get diagnosed with a terminal something, I've told people this and I stick by it. I am jumping a motorcycle into a volcano, because you'll be sad when you be like, oh man, your Brett died. Be like, oh man, I'm sad. Be like, wait, he jumped a motorcycle into a live volcano, and you're like, now I don't feel so sad actually. And for like 100 years, tour groups that pass by be like, in 2025, a man jumped a motorcycle into the volcano. He just haunts that shit now. I'm not sure if that counts as fighting the volcano. I think it does, and that definitely gets you into Valhalla.
I respect that. That's a boss way to go out, man. By your own terms, and it's badass. I like that. Anyway,
right? What was it? There was do you remember a few years back? Oh, maybe this is further back, but there was a helicopter crashed in the volcano. And these two guys that survived crawled out. They climbed their way out of the ship.
Like fucking Anakin.
Yeah, I'm telling you, look it up. They could not, because the rescue crews couldn't get to them because it was so hot, and it's just the angle, and they couldn't see them. And these two guys survived the shit, and they climbed out.
Yeah, no, but Brett, when I was flying back, from Hawaii, even though I didn't. It's the same deal, but when I was flying back, I'm like, yo, I've been flying over the fucking ocean for 6 hours. How do you fly over? There's nothing, just water. That's all you're flying over. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you're like, you're going ridiculously fast. They're like, nope, just still more water. It's amazing how much ocean there actually is.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it made me appreciate how big the fucking Earth is, man. Because I'm like, hold up, you got 6 hours from fucking New York to Seattle, then another 6 hours to Hawaii, 8 hours to Japan, and then who knows how many more fucking hours from Japan to New York. That is a big planet, man. That is a big planet.
And Kojima seems to do that shit like daily.
Yeah. So,
maybe he's always in some city.
I am here now. I do not sleep. I do not. Maybe he naps a lot, Manny.
That's why we can't complain when we hear about planes disappearing and stuff. See, it's very possible.
Yeah,
they're like, no, it can't be. They can disappear. They can. They can disappear.
Yeah. And then the other thing, because your mind starts racing with shit, right? I'm like, yo, man, this place is so out of the way. Like, you're like safe from war. It's like, what about, September, of December or whatever, the date of it. Like, oh yeah, war started on this fucking island. Never mind, not that isolated,
Exactly.
But then think about it. It's like, yo, Japanese had to sail all that fucking shit. That's crazy to me.
Did you get to see Pearl Harbor?
Think about that. And that was in 8 hours. That's a lot of ocean. Just have a whole fleet go through.
Tony, did you go to Pearl Harbor? Did you get to see Pearl Harbor?
No. I don't think Pearl Harbor's in Maui.
No. It's on. I think it's Honolulu.
Yeah, I was just in Maui.
Okay.
Maui's fucking dope, man.
It is.
Maui is fucking dope. I like the people. I like the environment. I felt refreshed, man. I always, when I go on trips, I'm fucking tired and shit the whole time. I was good, I was coming down with a cold. That shit went away. Less than fucking 10 hours there. It's gone, It's nuts.
Oh, yeah. That place is fucking magic. It is 100% the opposite of Tony's natural habitat. So
absolutely, yeah.
That's kind of why I'm like, I'm pleasantly surprised that he enjoyed it that much. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm Dominican. That's in the blood. I like tropical shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a genetic predisposition to like tropical shit. Life. You know.
Island
life.
Beforehand, it's like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do there. You're like, what? Yo, man.
Yeah.
Hawaii,
no. You know what I did? You know what I did? Relax. That's what I did.
Exactly.
And like I told Brett, it's like Dominican Island, only not a shithole. You know. Because our tropics are fucking dope. But I will say this though: the next night, I was, when I came back to the city and shit, we were going on the west side, the east side highway, whatever the fuck it's called, right? Seeing all the buildings and shit, I'm like, I'm home. Yeah. Like it feels like, yes, New York welcomed me back. Buildings everywhere, fucking lights and shit. I'm like, whew, like Hawaii, I love you, but this is where I belong, man.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Because like things never totally recovered in terms of like 24 hours, like store hours, still kind of like shoddy around here. Like, you got your IHOPs and everything like that, but like, I don't know that Walmart ever went back to 24 hours. Do you guys still do round the clock up in New York, or did pandemic fuck that up there?
That shit didn't stop even during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where like the subways for the first time forever, they actually did stop at night. But a lot of stores, they were like, fuck it, keep it going, And we instantly went back to normal about a year later, Brett. Instantly went back to it, Because we got shit to do, man.
I think there's labor shortages out here, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. By the way, we're vamping because there's literally like one more story, and we don't want to give you guys a short show. But you guys always like our conversation, so it's all good, Yeah,
I mean, it's always good to hear about Tony's travels.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tony. Yeah, literally the furthest. I would definitely go back to Hawaii again. That place was dope. But the thing is, I would have to go for a vacation because remember, my biggest frustration out there was the time difference. That's because I was working. It was very difficult for me to coordinate with my team, But because I'm like, this place is too fucking isolated. Yes, it's supposed to be. That's the point,
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point. But if you're there for work, then you really feel it, Good stuff. Anyway, last story of the night, and we're going to talk about the games we've been playing too, obviously. Especially we got Adam back. Adam's been playing 50 fucking games.
I'm way too many fucking games.
He's playing games right now.
What you playing right now?
Too much. Right now.
So last thing, now this one's interesting. So Spider-Man 2 patch returns Nelson and Murdock sign. I didn't know that sign existed in the first place.
It did, and you did the trophy for it too.
I must have,
Yes, because the Nelson and Murdock is one of the iconic places to take a photo of inside of the game, as well as Doctor Strange's Sanctum.
Is Daredevil in it?
No. Not Daredevil's not in it. No,
he's not. Yeah, Daredevil is not in it, but Nelson and Murdock is.
So what, Manny? So it wasn't in Spider-Man 2? Is that what it was?
No, it was not in it for some weird reason.
Interesting.
So all it is just a plaque. All it is just a plaque next to a door. Really, there's maybe a mission that goes there, and that's it.
Well, this is what I was going to bring up. I thought that Miles was Dominican. I thought that was the whole thing because they kept saying, they messed up the Puerto Rican flag with a Cuban flag. I'm like, wrong. It's supposed to be a DR flag.
According to some of the developers, he's fucking Cuban.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wrong. You're wrong on both fronts. It's not Cuban. It's not Puerto Rican because he lived up in the Heights.
No, he's Puerto Rican.
And he had talked about. I could have sworn maybe. All right.
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he says he's from Brooklyn over there. So
yeah, he's from Brooklyn. Yeah. But yeah, no, that shit was funny. Again, you have these. I'm gonna say it, man. You have these fucking people who are trying to be quote unquote inclusive, right? Like, we got to represent this. You couldn't even get the fucking flag right, guys. These.
I mean, to be honest, their representation. I know a lot of people, are like, yeah, this is great. The representation is cool.
Take care, mommy.
To be honest,
that came from the comics. That was a comic. The game is
the representation is almost like going to fucking Disneyland, man. Like it's like there's Puerto Rican and Jamaican flags on every fucking building. That's not fucking New York, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The most Puerto Ricans you see, Puerto Rican flags you see in the city is during fucking Puerto Rican
parade.
Day. Or or like the leading up to Puerto Rican Day. That's when everybody puts their Puerto Rican flags on everything. But other than that,
Bad Bunny's in town.
Also, this is where I step in. The New York. I've been to New York 3 times now for almost total of 2 months. We're taking over. Puerto Ricans, step aside. Dominicans, step aside.
No, he's
Mexicans
right.
are taking over.
Yeah, no, he's 100% right. I remember, because when I was growing up, I lived in Junction Boulevard, right? I went to Junction Boulevard like 3 years ago and shit. And remember, Junction Boulevard was nothing but fucking Dominicans back in the day, in the 80s, early 90s, nothing but fucking Dominicans, right? I go there. Hey, Mexicans everywhere, Oh,
they expand from Corona. They
like,
left Corona.
Fuck? Yeah, man.
It was like that Corona part.
I was in Bushwick this past weekend. I went to go party there. Bunch of fucking Mexicans.
Yeah, Mexicans everywhere, man.
I don't believe you. In Bushwick, I don't believe you.
So what's it called? Insomniac. Yeah, let's get a Mexican hero on there, man.
Yeah, so Carlos, correction. You guys aren't taking over. You have taken over. It's already happened.
In Spanish Harlem in the game, they got like Mexican flags, they got like Dominican flags, and they got all the it's got all the flags there. But like I'm saying,
they got Cuban flags.
Yeah, and they got Cuban flags.
Miles' house.
They got Cuban flags. They got Cuban flags, and then they got that one bodega where the cat comes from. Anyway, it's
the bodega cat.
Like, again, yeah, they go with the bodega cat. He's in there. But I'm like, think about it. It's like it was like again, it's really cool the representation.
I like that. It's a theme park. Yeah.
It's like a theme park. It's like a theme park version. Even the fact of him having a giant Puerto Rican flag in the living room.
Yeah.
No.
None of our family has that shit. Most we got maybe a little Puerto Rican flag sitting on the table, and that's about it.
Maybe Guadalupe.
Yeah, maybe Guadalupe, a picture of Jesus on the wall.
Yeah, Jesus got to be there. And I'm not talking about your cousin,
A big wooden fork and spoon.
See, that's what he should have had on the wall. That would have been truly like Hispanic.
Yeah.
If he had white Jesus on the wall, like in that spot right there, and it's
a little shrine to it.
Yeah, and it's got that shiny. Yeah. It's got that shiny like paper.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know.
Framed in a gold frame. Yeah, that's the real deal. Not putting just a Puerto Rican flag on the wall.
Yeah. That shit is. The most times I see a Puerto Rican flag is in like someone's car, like in the dashboard, or maybe the little like ornamentation
on the dashboard. It's like hanging on the thing.
Yeah. That's
the most we got a ticket for that.
Yeah.
That's the most you get. You get like
obstruction of view.
There's this one guy back in my old neighborhood.
You get the Dominican beads.
Yeah.
The Dominican beads. You got that.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah. There was this one guy. He had the combo of like the Yankees logo, but with the Puerto Rican colors. So yeah, you see that. Yeah, you mostly see it in cars. You don't see it just fucking hanging everywhere.
Like on every single wall. Like no, it's not like that. Like, again, like Spanish Harlem in that game is like Disneyland.
Yeah. Manny, remember this was like the last month and shit, or 2 months ago, where we unironically showed up in Manhattan during the Dominican Day Parade.
Dominican Day Parade?
That was random as fuck. I was like we showed up wait a minute.
They're like, wait a minute. There's an unusual amount of Dominican flags around here.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that's my presidente, man. What's going on? Somebody cooking mango?
They have it. They have the flag on their back and everything. Yeah,
that was funny. Yeah, it was just like we didn't know it was happening. I'll tell you that was a lot better than the other time I went to the city and it was fucking protests going on of certain Arabian persuasions. So I'm like, oh shit.
Oy vey.
Yeah, actually, I should. I should. Basically, it was Palestinian shit, and then I saw some fucking Jews on across. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, like I was like, yo, you motherfuckers, leave me out of it. It's crazy. New York is wild, man. It's like, I'm trying to get to work, man. Fuck out of here, take that shit over there.
I remember that park when I worked downtown, and it was that park right off of Wall Street. What was it, Bucati, whatever the fucking name is, that was near the Amex. Remember all those squatters were in that park protesting years ago, and they were all living in the park, and they were complaining about Wall Street and all this stuff.
Yeah,
It was some shit, but it was always funny because there was always... the Occupied. There you go.
Fucking
and I was like, what the hell? But that was funny because I do remember people walking by with signs that held up and said, get a job, and pointing to near the park. But that was so random. I was like, why are you living in a park like hobos?
Yeah. Barry Bird says, let them fight. yeah, let them fight. Just leave me the fuck out of it, Anyway, man, so that's going to do it for a story. So let's get into the games we've been playing. Adam, we're going to go to you because you've been playing like 50 games.
Man.
And at the same time, too, in one day.
Yeah, I got to play Wild Card Football. Here's a game that's sort of like Ultimate Team and stuff, but for the NFL, they got the players' names and stuff, so they don't have the NFL teams, but they have the player license, the union license, so all the real players are in it, and it's an arcade style, and no microtransactions.
Oh.
Everything can be bought with in-game currency. There's a trade system with cards and stuff. Really cool. Been playing that. UFC 5 dropped. Been playing that. They fixed the submission. There used to be this annoying mini game, like type of Simon shit. Chase this, press this. It's annoying. You spend more time looking at that than the fighters. They got rid of it. Now it's stamina based. So I've been playing that. What else? Boom. RoboCop. Playing RoboCop. If you like RoboCop, you'll like this game. If you don't like RoboCop, you won't like this game. If you like any other first-person shooters, keep playing that game. This is RoboCop. He doesn't bend down. He doesn't jump. He moves mad slow. That's just RoboCop. If you can tolerate that, then you can have fun. You can't take cover really because he's RoboCop. Too damn slow. So been playing that.
He's a bullet. He's a bullet. Like all the bullets. Like he doesn't need to stop.
That's it.
Walking.
And that's the thing. He takes an insane amount of damage, and it feels a little jarring at first because your first instinct is to take cover when you're getting shot. But he moves so slow, and you can't hide behind anything. So no, then you just stand there and take it, and you just start shooting them in the face and stuff. A lot of cursing. It still has that feel because it takes place between RoboCop movie 2 and 3. So it has that grit, everything looks dirty, and all the bad guys are punks because that was the thing back then in the day. If you were punk rock, you were a criminal. So you see everybody with mohawks and reverse mohawks and stuff. Yeah, so it's really cool. It's cool that it brought that out. But again, if you're not of that time period, none of this shit makes sense, and it looks horrible. So you're like, this is dumb. Why do these people look this way? Why have to? And they gave them dialogue, which is interesting. So like, let's say if you interact with someone in the street, like there was this, I was walking down the street and I heard some loud music playing, some loud rock music. So I go by and then it does a little cutscene. The shopkeeper's like, man, these damn kids, they're scaring my customers and they're playing their loud music. Can you do something about that? So you walk up to them and they're like, hey, what are you doing? We're not bothering anybody. And you'll have two choices to pick, and then one of them could be like, hey, give them a fine, or the other one, do something to the radio. So I said, yeah, this is RoboCop and I'm gonna do something, and I smash the shit out of the radio. I'm like, get out of here, blah, blah, and then they go running off. So it's pretty interesting to do that, but again, you gotta like RoboCop. If not, this game is whack.
Move quietly or there will be trouble.
Oh, yeah, man. What else? There's a bunch of other shit. There's a lot of other sport games, NHL 24, more hockey. Not a lot of people give a shit about that, but I'm playing that. And then I just jumped in a little bit, and you talked about the Metal Gear collection. I just played Metal Gear Solid 1 on the Xbox because that was never available. I don't know what I was hoping for. Just a better interface, I guess. I knew there were ports, but I figured
it's purely the same.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Like you discussed earlier.
It's the hardest of the Metal Gear games, I will say.
Yeah, and everything is ripped into parts. It's not nicely packed, where I was thinking maybe there'd just be a hub. I go into it, select the game. Maybe it'll say, hey, you want to install this? You don't want to? No, everything is split apart.
Yeah, when you buy the game on disc or whatever, it installs like 6 different parts.
Ugh.
That are all separated. So it fills your whole screen with a bunch of Metal Gear games. I mean, things like I know a couple of people were saying Twin Snakes to release that one, but I'm like, I'm fine with it being the old Metal Gear game, but I just wish that it was just presented in the best way it could have, not just a blurry mess.
Played some Super Mario Wonder. That was pretty interesting with the elephant and changing and all those things. I'm not used to it, but I do like 2D Mario, probably a little more than the 3D because the open world, I get lost. This is too much going around. And it's funny because what is the trope, right? I always like to look under stairs and look around and waste time. And that's what you're supposed to do in Odyssey. So you could find all the little gems and all the stars and all the moons and all that shit. But sometimes you just want to go from left to right. And you can do that in that game. Just go left to right. That's it. Spider-Man, I booted up. My son saw it, and that was the last time I played. That was it. He took over.
It's his
beat
game
it.
now.
It's his game now. Yeah.
He loves the outfits. He loves the fact that you can change the color of the outfits and stuff. So every once in a while, because I didn't want to spoil it, because I do still plan to play it probably during Christmas.
Yeah.
But I would come in and take a look, and he's just doing some big ass fight with a crocodile, and he's doing all this craziness. I was like, here's a cool feature. I don't know if you guys know about this. If you have trouble with the game, you don't have to put it on easy or any of that stuff. You go into settings, you could actually slow it down, and he slowed down the speed to like 70%. So then it's not turtle speed or anything, but it's slower, so he can press the prompt to dodge and stuff. That's how you get your health and stuff. And he was having trouble with some of the bosses, and my wife looked it up and was like, oh, there's a slowdown feature.
Wow. Okay.
So you don't have to change the whole. So he did that. He left it on normal, and he just went slow down. He slowed it down during certain fights and stuff. And then when he was done with it, he boosted back to, because it's set to 100. So take a look, you'll see it. It's automatic default. It's
that's
100.
an accessibility option then.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was like, that is very cool. So then I never had to jump in to help him with anything, because if he had trouble, he just slowed it down a little bit.
That's cool.
And then that's it. I'm still playing my wrestling and my FC 24. Still playing FIFA. Well,
not playing AEW.
Not playing AEW. No one's playing that shit. No one's playing that fucking game. It just doesn't play right. It doesn't feel right, and it's a shame because they put a lot of money into that. A lot of money into it. So I don't know, but that's it. So playing WWE 2K23. Here's the funny thing: that game on the Steam Deck. So that game is unsupported across the board, unsupported, right? Not playable, unsupported. But then every video I saw, every review was like, yo, this plays perfect. And it does. It plays with no problem. I don't understand. And it's probably maybe because it doesn't have the font, maybe because there was no adjustments made. It just works out the box, playing multiplayer, doing all this stuff. If someone was on the fence about getting it for the Steam Deck, it works great. It hasn't crashed at all. Played rumbles and stuff, got all the characters in the ring. It's fantastic. So that, and looking at that Legion Go, man, holy shit, man. Lenovo Legion Go. That might, I don't know, man. That might pull me in. 8.8 inch screen. Are you kidding?
Yeah, no, it's dope. I went hands on with it about a month and a half ago. It's pretty legit, and I can say this: I will be reviewing it, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man. That I don't know. That might, I love my Steam Deck, but that, I don't know, something about it. It's probably the screen. It's probably the screen, because I saw some performance reviews. Yeah, some games could run to 4K and do all that, but for best performance, battery life and stuff, you still drop it down to like 800. Yeah, 800p. If that's the case. That's what Steam Deck is doing. So it's like, if you keep dropping everything, you're not bumping up to high, then you're really just getting it for the big screens.
And the controllers, and one of the controllers, you seen that out. You could kind of use that as a cursor.
FPS. It comes with like a little
dope, man.
Yeah, it does.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
And I think it's like what, $750 or something like that for the 1 terabyte.
Yeah,
model.
I was very surprised. When I went to that event, I saw, I'm like, this shit's going to be $1,000. No, it's the same price as the ROG Ally. The same price. And using the same chip too. Mm-hmm. The Ryzen 1 or whatever Extreme. Like, oh shit.
So it's like, oh man, I don't know. I might, but then again, Valve said that they have some announcements to make about their stuff, and I just like how seamless everything is with Steam OS. Yeah, I don't want to deal with all the issues with Windows, especially on that.
They have this thing called Legion Space, which is their version of Steam Deck. But when I went to the event, it wasn't ready yet, so it will be ready now. So hopefully it'll be as good as SteamOS. It probably won't be, but if it's better than whatever the fuck Asus ROG Ally has, because they have Armory Crate, which is available even on PC, it just doesn't work right, you know?
No, yeah, exactly. That's the shit. But thankfully, now that they have all that stuff integrated with Steam, you can set Steam as a default for big picture mode. So then, if I did have that, I would just open that up, big picture mode. That way, it takes up the whole screen. It's not just if you use big picture, and then just leave it that. But it's a shame I can't have it constantly running. And then I don't know what the driver support, because ROG had a lot of those issues.
Yeah,
this might have the same fucking issues. Since it's still running Windows and it's not a custom version of Windows.
No, it's not.
If Microsoft was to make a custom build for these little portable gaming PCs, it'd be a different experience.
Yeah,
but it's not. Yeah,
because it's still it's just a mini PC basically. It's a handheld PC, you know, which is good and bad. Good and bad.
Yeah, good and bad.
But
that's why people when they were install. Yeah, and that's why when people were installing Windows on the Steam Deck, you were seeing all these like, it doesn't work so great. Yeah, it's not what you would think because it's not designed for it.
Yeah.
So until they make something that's more designed for these things, that's the only thing that turns me off. So I think the only thing I'm really looking at is that screen, man. 8.8. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful screen.
Yeah, it's dope.
So, and then that's it.
That's all you got. I'll go next. I haven't really been playing anything. This is gonna be weird. I tried 2 games, but I can't tell you what I tried it on. That's the only thing. But I played a little bit of Lies of P. It actually controls very well. Looks gorgeous too. I also played a little bit of Baldur's Gate. That game looks fucking nice.
Oh man. Yes, I played Baldur's Gate on Steam Deck. That's what I also played.
So once everything kind of cools down, I'll probably go just play Baldur's Gate, man. You know, like I know people are telling me to play Starfield first, but I'm like, I want to play Baldur's Gate. That's more of a Tony game, you know. Even though it's not sci-fi, but the storytelling, that's what I like, you know. So that's all I've really been playing, and that was just today for reasons I could tell you about next week. Carlos, you already know, man. You got that platinum in Spider-Man's.
Yeah. I've just been playing Spider-Man and got the platinum, and Sea of Stars is next.
Excuse me?
So stay tuned.
Good stuff.
I know Richard Bailey just sneezed. He's like,
yes.
Oh yes, that's a great game.
Yeah. He's been talking about that forever.
As soon as he played it, I feel like it was like 5 minutes of play. He stopped and started freaking texting the shit out. This is the game of the year. He loved that game.
Yeah, that's amazing. Manny, have you had a chance to play anything?
Not really, so not so much. I mean, I do have, funny enough, I do have Spider-Man, and I do have, what is it, Spider-Man, and I do have the Metal Gear collection.
Oh man, my condolences.
My first two PlayStation 5 games there, I can't play them, so.
I was gonna say, you got a PS5?
Not yet.
No, but I have.
He's waiting for that Slim.
I'm waiting for the Slim, and then there's a rumor that come Call of Duty Day, which is November 10th, there's going to be a bundle of the Slim with it. There's going to be 2 bundles, apparently, according to rumors. There's going to be one that has Call of Duty, and the other one's going to have Spider-Man in it.
Cool.
So, there you go.
Good stuff. Brett.
I guess I'll get the Spider-Man one and have 2 versions. I don't know.
Call of Duty.
Brett, what you been playing, man?
I've been playing Starfield on my Xbox and Baldur's Gate on my PlayStation.
Nice. How's Baldur's Gate on PlayStation with the controls? I know you said I should play it on PC.
It's honestly almost like 2 different games. So on the controller, it feels more like you're directly controlling your character, like you feel more linked. But to do other stuff, you feel like you got to go through a bunch of menus.
I noticed that. It's a lot of radial stuff.
Yeah, a lot of radial menus, where the computer has more of a top-down feel, but like everything can be accessed and clicked pretty quickly. So it's tough to explain. Like, some games you play the character, and some games you're kind of like, the eye in the sky guiding the character, and it makes the difference between the two. So I don't know. I kind of like it on PC better, but I like it on my TV more.
Yeah, man.
And TV trumps mouse.
On my TV.
Yeah, my TV. All right. Anything else?
I haven't really actually tried to see if keyboard and mouse works with PlayStation. I guess in theory it should. But no, just those two things. I mean, they're honestly a great balance to each other, man. Like Baldur's Gate is heavy and small. Like when I want to get the nitty gritty of things and get into the story and all that, like it's nice to be able to dig down. But sometimes I just want to run, jump, and shoot a guy in the face before pulling out my my wakizashi and cutting down fools like I'm the last descendant in a long line of ninjas. Like it's just different vibes, and I appreciate that.
Nice. Brian, what about you?
Nothing. Just lots of anime and manga. I've been watching a ton of Jujutsu Kaisen. And if you're up to date on the anime, then yeah, things are going to get exciting because I'm reading the manga, and that's just been emotional, to say the least. So
I'll wait for the Top Boy anime.
You know what you got to check? You got to check out Pluto, which is on Netflix. Really
Both of those are on my list, Brian. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is. I've had like 3 people recommend it, and it is definitely next.
Oh, Brett, I'll say nothing less.
It's going to be a minute. I'm being honest with you.
Good.
I made. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm thinking that this season should wrap up the current arc, and the current arc is just emotional, to say the least. So yeah.
Okay.
We'll come in at a good time.
Well, I will let you know when I get close. I'm currently about halfway through One Piece. Which I feel, I got to be honest, that's a fucking monumental accomplishment, right? Like that, I'm 450 episodes into One Piece.
That's amazing. I think I made it up to like 230 something. And the only reason I stopped is because fucking Konami stopped airing it. They just canceled it. One Piece is fun,
all
man.
On Crunchyroll, and that shit is dangerous.
Yeah. One Piece is cool, man.
Yeah, it's a lot more like it's a lot more punk rock than I was expecting. Like it's kind of hidden under there, but like the philosophy and that, like just the whole like, you know, what is this? This anime teaches you that like friendship can overpower adversity, and this anime teaches you to never give up, and this anime teaches you fuck the government. I kind of love it. Yeah, no,
One Piece is great. All right, I think that's pretty much everyone. Good stuff. Yeah, again, a week in gaming. Not a lot happened, but we are nearing the end of the year, so we shall see if anything interesting pops up. You know. Anyway, before we leave, do you have anything to plug around here?
We're still covering I Am Negan. We got Fear the Walking Dead, one of the worst shows right now on TV. So we've been poo-pooing it, and a lot of people have been watching that just for the poo-pooing, because that's how the internet works now, right? If you put in a tagline, you hate something, like, oh, I want to hear this. No one likes it if you like it, but we really don't like it. This is horrible. These episodes is the final section in the final season for Fear the Walking Dead, and they're just throwing all kinds of hot garbage at us right now. And so myself and Carlos and Rich, we just ripping it up. That's our goal. We don't see it getting any better, so we just know it's all downhill from here. You know, like a mudslide, like the Goonies going into the water, just sliding. Yeah. So yeah, check it out: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and that's it. Here is bitch.
Yeah, and speaking about the coalition, we are going to be having the return of the Invincible podcast on the coalition.
Yeah, that's tonight. It aired tonight. I mean, the first episode. Yeah.
So we're going to be recording on Saturday, and that will be me, Carlos, Dana, Rich, and hopefully Brett. That'll be fun, you know. I'll keep you guys tuned. We got to, I'm not sure when the exact time will be because Dana's got to do some stuff, but it will be Saturday. and it will be awesome. I can't fucking wait. I saw the trailer for it today. I'm like, give me this shit right now, man. You know,
it's been so long, right? What, 2 years, 3 years?
Something like that, yeah. And just like the first season, at least based off the trailer, I'm like, hey, they're being combat accurate again, you know?
Good.
Invincible is one of my favorite fucking comic books, man. I would say I read the whole thing, but I purposely haven't read the final arc yet, because if I read it, then it's really over. You know, I haven't read it for like 10 fucking years, you know, because the series has been over, you know?
It attacked all kinds of weird things. Like, remember, like, obesity? I don't know if that, I just don't know if that's in this show.
It probably will be. That's why, like, let's be careful, you know? Because so far, they've changed some stuff around, but the major stuff has all been there so far, you know. And what I've seen of this season, and I'm like, oh shit, they're doing this now. Cool, you know. So that'll be fun. Why is Steve Ditko trending? Like, didn't he die already?
Who?
Oh, it's his birthday. That's why. Never mind. It's his birthday.
Yeah, it's his birthday. No, you got to respect that.
Gotta respect,
because nobody, because Stan Lee didn't.
Damn.
Man, Steve Ditko, he passed away, didn't he?
No, it's true. Oh, he passed away the same fucking year that Stan Lee did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Earlier that year.
Crazy.
And then fucking Stan Lee dies later on, and everybody's talking about that
Man,
shit.
stole his glory, you know?
So, freaking every single point, it seems like Stan Lee overshadows that dude.
He stole in life and in death.
Well, no, I mean, like, the thing about it is, it's like, if you live like obviously, you know, he's written a bunch of stuff about it, about how, you know, how he, you know, pretty much, you know, Steve Ditko created Spider-Man. The only thing that maybe Stan Lee thought of was maybe a short premise. Most of the time, he didn't even write anything down.
Yeah.
So,
what was it? It was that super. It was like a Believe It or Not, but it was a superhuman show that Stan Lee was part of. And they would always say co-creator of all these, but you rarely heard that anywhere else. They would always say that he was the creator of Spider-Man.
They started saying, especially when the Spider-Man movies came out, they started saying with all those characters that he co-created them.
Yeah.
Good.
Because they officially started trying to give the original artist a little bit of money off of those things, like additional credit. But Steve Ditko was so pissed off at Stan Lee. They were sending him checks, and he was so pissed off about it because he believed he was the one that created Spider-Man, because he created pretty much all the plot points, all the things with just a little bit of a sentence, kind of like AI. You know, you just created that one little sentence, and then it just generated the rest. Pretty much that with a person. Stan Lee thought of a sentence. Hey, you know, so this happens, and they said at the end of his career. At the end of his time with Spider-Man, he wasn't even talking to Stan directly. He was just doing it, put little notes and things on the pages, and then he was handing them over, and Stan was just writing his stuff on it.
Isn't that crazy? One little change, or like that dude that for He-Man that worked there that was into bodybuilding. And he was like, how about they just look like big bodybuilders? And now that's the iconic look for all those figures. It's just, they have to be big, bulky.
He-Man's a weird one, because there's a bunch of different people that claim that they created He-Man. There's the artist, there's the guy who had an idea, there's the guy who sculpted it. So 3 guys have said, I created He-Man.
Yeah, I believe the dude that was working out, because he was all jacked up. And I was like, yeah, that's it. You're into this shit. It makes sense that these characters look like that. So I give you the credit. You did it.
Logic wins sets. It's sort of like how everyone forgets about John Tobias from Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon gets most of the credit. We haven't forgotten about John Tobias, though, man.
Nah, man, we didn't John Tobias. We also don't know where John Tobias is.
We don't know.
He hasn't popped out and said, he didn't go toasty. He didn't pop out of the side of the screen,
Yeah.
Where's that crazy dude? He was the artist. He was the artist that designed those characters.
You know, that whole thing with Stan Lee dying after Steve Ditko, it kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode with Frank Grimes. Remember, Frank Grimes is at his funeral and shit. He's dead. He's being lowered, and Homer's sleeping. Marge, change the channel. Everybody starts laughing. Forget about Frank Grimes. Like, oh, shit.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And Steve just died, and Stan Lee put a little thing out saying, hey, that's unfortunate. But, Stan Lee could have fixed that situation. He could have went over to him and said, like, listen, I realize I did you wrong. Let's let's just try to do this together. But it's like after the point when they gave him co-creatorship, it didn't matter to Steve anymore. He was so pissed off. It's like years and years of it.
Yeah.
Manny,
do you see that Stan Lee documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, I know no. It
was kind of like it kind of had like
there was one
stop motion or whatever.
There was one on the Disney Channel. On Disney,
that was it. It was the one on Disney Channel. Yes,
that one. That's the one. That's the one that the state of Jack Kirby came down on, because they lessened what Kirby's contributions were on those things too. That was the thing about Stan Lee. He makes sure to hire really creative people to essentially be able to get these books out, and he really didn't need to. He just needed to throw a couple of sentences at them, and they fill out the rest.
Yeah.
But the way Steve said it, like, what he chose as the phrasing for the thing, he didn't write co-creator or any of that other thing at the time. He wrote writer, and then he wrote illustrator, as opposed to just trying to share the credit.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up that documentary is because there's a really interesting exchange between Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Like, they kind of go at it,
They did because and that's part of the reason why Jack left.
Yeah.
And the only time he actually came back was when fucking Stan was gone and he was out in Hollywood.
Yeah. It's interesting, man.
Doing the Eternals. Ugh.
Well, look how that turned out,
Look how all those movies are turning out now. This is not going to be a good.
Well, no, the Eternals was not.
Yeah,
it was not one of his strongest.
No, it wasn't
his strongest creations. No.
Yeah, as the movie's evidence of that. It's like I'm not going to get into it. But it's like you took a week. We told everybody that. We said this movie's not going to be good because the Eternals has never been interesting. They've rebooted the series over and over and over and over again for a reason. The Eternals are boring.
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
they even had Neil Gaiman write a version.
Yeah, and that wasn't good either.
It's based off of.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good either.
Nope. So the concept doesn't work.
That is Star Brand. Nobody gives about.
You mean Jim Shooter's New Universe? Remember that in 1987, the New Universe? Yeah,
nobody cares about.
Nobody cares about New Universe. That was like the Ultimate Universe before Ultimate Universe, kind of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But other than that, I'm not going to get to comic book stuff. But Jim Shooter, I liked him, even though he wasn't great. But I like how he kept the ship going. Like, Marvel's actually is most profitable under him, because he made motherfuckers put books out on time, And if books sold under a certain amount, cut, you're gone, Think about it like this: if a book sold under 500,000, it got cut. Nowadays, a book can't even get 10,000. It's crazy. Jim Shooter started Valiant. Yep, that was him as well. Valiant was dope back in the day. The new Valiant was good too until that got fucking stupid, like the rest of the comic book industry. But anyway, we're done here, man. So want to thank you guys as always. Good stuff. If you want to keep up with Throwdown, make sure you follow us on Twitch and Twitter, Discord. Where the conversations and the rumors are always popping. Throwdown Show on every podcast app, throwdownshow.com, past episodes. And we're also on YouTube where you can catch our premieres. And we may even start streaming live on YouTube as well pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero. Peace out. Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody. Every weekend, I should say. Go play some games. Play some fucking games. Cut the bullshit.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Monjoma.
Thank you, Tony, for reminding me that we are just a couple days away from experiencing the sequel to a highly anticipated superhero title that came out a few years ago. This sequel, people have been talking about it. We've been talking about it. there's just lots of buzz about it. I'm just a couple of days away. Tony, you know what it is.
Yes, I do. Yeah, no, we will be marveling at this sequel. The one we've been waiting for. We'll be marveling.
Oh, please don't tell me that.
Yeah, the three greatest superheroes of all time in one movie.
Oh, that's impossible.
Oh my God.
Punisher's in it? Nice. Punisher, Ghost Rider. Yes.
Yeah. All right, people. We will see you next time. Later.